Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting episode of Brutal Foods. I'm your host, Chef Ian Brutal Foods, a name you know, a name you can know. It's time for another taste test video that I'm very excited about because for the first time ever, it feels like we're going to taste some frozen food that's high quality, high class, and a third thing as well. Today I'm gonna be taste testing food from the store known as Trader Joe's. I've had some really good success with Trader Joe's frozen food, but I did not pick anything that I've had before. So no orange chicken, although it is, I think, the most popular item in the entire store. Very good. There's also a mushroom risotto that I quite enjoy. I did not get that one as tempting as it was, but I did get a number of things. I got garlic boats, I got cheese curd, I got cheeseburger mini variety, chicken tiki samosas, chicken burrito bowl, steak and stout pies, tarte aux champignons. Don't remember what that is. Papas rellenas, shiitake mushroom chicky. Almost all the frozen food I got today is under $5, and I guarantee you it's gonna be higher quality than a banquet meal. Okay, let's stop talking. I've got, I think, 10 things to eat today, so I need to get going. I'll go get our first meal. Here I go. Okay, I'm gonna be eating a lot of stuff today, so let's start small and simple, just to get my feet wet here. This is the Trader Joe's mini cheeseburgers. 3 cheeseburgers. A fully cooked seasoned beef patty with cheddar cheese and burger sauce nestled between a sweet aloha roll. All you gotta do is heat and serve. Well, isn't that convenient? I like the packaging. It reminds me of the White Castle burgers. I've never been to a White Castle myself, but I have had their frozen burgers, and they're okay. A little confused as to what burger sauce is. Maybe like a ketchup mustard blend, I'm not so sure. This was $4.49 at Trader Joe's, which I guess is fairly reasonable for 3 burgers. Is that reasonable or not? I have no idea. Well, I guess that's about what I expected. It does look like 3 cheeseburgers, although the top has slid off just a little bit. Yeah, nothing too exciting. It's rolls, beef, cheese, and sauce. Let's cook one up. How do I do it? I do think this time around I'm gonna sometimes use an oven, sometimes use a microwave. For this in particular, I'm just gonna go microwave. I don't think these need to be made in the oven. I think it's gonna be about the same either way. So let me go zap one and we'll see how it is. All right, well, it smells pretty good, I can't lie. It's a little weird with the microwave prep. It requested that I moisten a wet paper towel and wrap one of the burgers in it, and the burger honestly ended up being about a burger and a half because they were a little bit hard to separate, but it smells pretty good. Let's see how it looks. Oh, yum. Oh, good. Well, the bottom is nice and soggy. I love soggy bread. It's one of my favorite things in the world when a bread is nice and soggy. Smells pretty good, looks kind of sad, I'll be honest. It doesn't look like the most appetizing thing in the world, but, you know, looks can be deceiving. I'm sure I look like a pretty nice guy, but really I'm just a chicken burrito bowl. Okay, it's hot, but I'm hungry, so. Not bad. No, not bad at all. Honestly, the sweetness of the roll is not bad. Honestly, when I picked them up, I didn't realize it was on a sweet bun, but I don't hate it. The beef is all right, nothing to write home about, but nothing to complain about either. They definitely feel, I don't know if it's oily or greasy. Greasy? One of those. Okay, they're better than I remember the White Castle burgers being. But it's been a while since I've had those, to be totally fair. I can't speak to the burger sauce very much. I taste it very faintly. I'm wondering if there's pickles in it. I feel like maybe I taste a pickle, but I don't know, you look inside and it's just cheese and a little bit of sauce. It's really hard to place, but it's pretty tasty. It's soft, mushy, a little sad, but it's not too bad for a microwave burger. I actually like it a lot. You could do much worse in the frozen burger department, I'll say that much. Now let's give it a score. Today I will be using IGN's system for how they rank their games, only I will be applying it to food. Torn between a 7 and an 8. We've got good and we've got great. Good says it's time well spent eating the food. Maybe the food lacks ambition or has some technical bumps in the road, or maybe the food is too repetitive. And then there's 8, which says that the food left me with something outstanding to remember it by, usually novel gameplay ideas for single player or multiplayer, or clever characters or writing. And I don't think that the cheeseburger really rose to that level, so I'm gonna give it a solid 7. Good. And that places it amongst other foods like FIFA 20 and World War Z. Whilst it was pretty good and I'd love to eat it during a zombie apocalypse, it wasn't much food, just the single burg. So I still hunger. I'm gonna go get the next thing. Honestly, a little bit difficult to choose what to eat next. It all looks pretty good. My freezer is nicely stocked at the moment, but I settled on Trader Joe's garlic gondolas. Very garlicky, stone oven baked bread, sprinkled with cheese. I've never eaten a boat before, but I can't lie, I'm very excited to do it. Seems like it's just gonna be a twist on cheese garlic bread. It's baked into a boat. When you're looking for the ultimate garlic bread, look no further than Trader Joe's garlic gondolas. Our supplier from Italy takes pizza dough, shapes it into gondolas, and fills them with garlic sauce and cheese before it's baked in a stone oven. It does say it's a product of Italy, and if you're gonna eat a cheese boat, why not make it Italian? Thought I could smell it through the box for a second, but that was kind of a crazy thought. I think I'm just hungry. For reference, the cheese boats were $3.99, $4 for 2 cheese garlic gondolas, which I do know is pronounced gondola, just so we're all clear. Oh boy, they kind of look like clogs, you know, like Dutch clogs. They do look filled to the brim with garlic and cheese though, which is a very good sign. Okay, I'm gonna go cook them up, I'll be right back. Here we go. Well, I gotta say, it's smelling pretty good, smelling pretty cheesy, pretty garlicky. I can already picture myself sailing the 7 seas of flavor across the 7 seas of flavor. Ooh, that's some tasty garlicky bread. The bread is definitely dusty, and it's more of a flatbread than a bread. So it's a little more dense, chewy, and crunchy on the bottom, but it's very good. It's simply bread, garlic, and cheese as far as I can tell. And it's nice and oily, but it does feel like I wish I had something to dip it in. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say that it's bursting with flavor. It is very oily, I'll say that much. But it definitely tastes of garlic, that's for sure. There's a pretty healthy layer of cheese down there too. That's pretty good. I still wish I had something to dip it in. But otherwise, not so bad. Now, does it compete with my all-time favorite frozen bread, the New York Bakery Texas Toasts? No, not really. Not so much. It doesn't have as much flavor as my favorite Texas Toast, but it's still pretty good. I'd say a little bland, but pretty good. Pretty good. I don't see this as something that I would make a meal out of, but it would make a good side to something else. Something Italian, like a spaghetti, or a ravioli, or a fettuccine, or a tortellini, or a chicken burrito bowl. Okay, I think I'm gonna also give the cheese boats a 7. I would say that it was good, it's tasty. I can't say that it's great though. I can think of better frozen garlic breads, but I think the shape is kind of cool. It looks fancier to me than a regular garlic bread, and I would happily serve it alongside something else. So, 7. Just like Yoshi's Crafted World, I would say that the cheese gondolas from Trader Joe's are just like Yoshi's Crafted World. All right, let's try something that seems like it could actually be used as a full meal. Why don't we? This is the chicken burrito bowl from Trader Joe's. I'm noticing now that so far this has been Trader Joe's branded food. Is all of the food in Trader Joe's branded? It says right here, distributed and sold exclusively by Trader Joe's, and it's a product of Canada. Probably an interesting story there that someone who was working on a video about Trader Joe's food would put research into and explain to a captivated audience. Anyway, seasoned chicken breast with brown rice, black beans, red quinoa, cheddar cheese, and corn with a Chipotle Southwest style sauce. Now, I can cook it in the microwave for 45 minutes, or I can cook it in the conventional oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Gee, I wonder which I'm gonna do. Oh, mamma mia, smells like we got a little fiesta going. Mamma mia. Fiesta. This smelled great coming out of the microwave. It smells a lot like a tortilla soup. It smells a lot like a tortilla soup that my mother used to make that I quite enjoyed, Winsta boy. Let's take a little pecorino here. Oh, looks and smells pretty good. Immediately, I wish I had some tortilla chips. I feel like it's just begging to be dipped and dunked, but all I've got is a fork, so that's what we're gonna use. Somebody's interested. Oh, MJ, what do we think here? She's not a fan. Ah! Oh, why does this keep happening to me? What is quinoa anyway? Is it kind of like a rice? It's a pretty tender, tasty chicken, I can't lie. I expected the kind of chicken I get from, you know, Hungry Man or Banquet, but that was like a real piece of chicken, and it didn't even taste stinky. Oh, it's hot. This is pretty high quality. It's seasoned well. The Chipotle sauce is very good. Got just like the slightest bit of kick to it. Not really enough to call it heat, but pretty darn tasty. I could go for a little more cheese. If I were to make this again, I might sprank a little bit of cheese on top. Oh yeah. For some reason, I want to say that this one's going to be more expensive than the other things we've tried, but let me see. Chicken burrito bowl is only $3.49. I feel like that's a pretty good deal, honestly. I feel like it could use a little bit more cheese. There's not as much chicken in here as I expected. I mean, the pieces that are in here are very good, but there's just not as many pieces as I expected. But you got enough rice and beans and quinoa to be plenty filling for a meal. Oh yeah. I do feel like my one edit is going to be the cheese. More cheese, not enough cheese on this bowl. If I had to choose between getting some tortilla chips and getting more cheese, well, I don't know, I might actually go for the chips. I could use a bit of crunch, honestly. I'm a fan. I could eat a whole bowl of this if I was, you know, not already eating so much today. High quality. I'm actually gonna give this one an 8 for great. I would say that it left me something outstanding to remember by, specifically the delicious chicken and the Southwest Chipotle flavor. I'd say that it's got great gameplay ideas for single or multiplayer, which places it alongside gaming greats like The Outer Worlds and Kingdom Hearts 3. It's also the first meal that I would say feels like an actual meal. I think even if I ate all 3 of the little cheeseburgers in one sitting, it would feel like an extended snack. Whereas this does feel like a meal. Feel like a real meal. It's a big deal. Oh yeah. So next up is the Trader Joe's mini chicken tiki samosas. Since it's chicken, vegetables, and Indian spices wrapped up in crisp, flaky pastry. That sounds pretty good. Can't say that I eat a ton of Indian food, but I like curry, and I have high hopes for this. And I can't really deny that one of the reasons I picked this up was the tiny little triangle shapes. They just looked very satisfying, and with 3 nice points of crunch. You know, crunch inflection points. I think the tips of the triangle are gonna be super tasty and super crunchy. Oh, they look big. They're bigger than I thought they'd be. They look big and plump. Smells like bag. Smells a lot like bag, actually. I'm done looking at it, done poking it. Let's get to heating it, and then I'll get to eating it. And then I'll get to beating my meat in it. All right, all right, here we have the Trader Joe's chicken tikka samosas. They look very crispy, very crunchy, very triangular. And you guys know me, I'm a big fan of triangular things. Everybody knows this about me. I fucking love triangles, okay? I can't help it. Now this one did come with air fryer instructions, and I've become a big fan of the air fryer. Anytime I can use it, I will use it. So I did use it. Okay, hopefully they're not too hot. Okay, all right. Oh, fuck. Well, this is what the insides look like. It's pretty good. It tastes like Indian food wrapped up in a little crunchy pastry. Little pockets of deliciousness. The spices taste really good, and they're finally masking the garlic flavor that I got from the cheese boats. The outside is so flaky and crunchy too. I really love the way they got the pastry on the outside here. They're pretty good. Honestly, I kind of forgot there was chicken in here. I don't know that I'm tasting any chicken. I'm just tasting the spices, which are pretty spicy. And I was not wrong. The corners are an inflection point of crunch. They're so crunchy and good. Well, obviously, I am a fan. Crunchy, chickeny, spicy, what's not to love? While still utilizing the IGN scoring system, I'm going to give the mini chicken tikka samosas an 8 for great. Did not quite reach amazing. However, if I was a big fan of Indian food, I may very well have. It's much more spicy and flavorful than I expected. And also the outside, man, those crunchy triangles. I wish every food that I ate was served to me in a crunchy triangle. So 8 for great for these guys here, which places them among great games like The Division 2, my favorite game. I think that one has guns in it, right? It's a little violent for me, you know? Well, all right, let's go try the next one. Let's get, this is going well, right? It's going, everything looks really delicious, because it is really delicious, and it's not so shitty like most of the stuff that I eat on the show. It's something tasty, and so you'll probably like watching and eating it more than in some of my other videos that I've made about food. All right, I think this is our last small meal for the day, though there are a few biggies left in the chamber. This is the Trader Joe's Papas Rellenas, which means, it means rellena in English. Okay, it means potato something. It definitely means potato something. I'm not sure what rellenas is. Let me look it up. Okay, stuffed. It's stuffed potatoes. So I learned a new word today. And wouldn't you know it, these papas look quite rellenas to me. They're crispy mashed potatoes stuffed with seasoned ground beef. So it's like a potato beef pocket. $4.99 for a box of however many there are in here. It does feel very dense, like I feel like we're gonna get a good amount inside. Oh! Well, these things are huge. Okay, I was expecting maybe 8 or 10 smaller Papas Rellenas, but these are pretty big. Can fit 2 in my hand. I wonder what the ratio of Papa to Rellenas is going to be. These actually look and sound extremely tasty, so I'm gonna get to cooking, and I'll be right back. Oh my God, I'm probably the most excited that I've been all day. The entire house now smells of papas. Papas everywhere throughout the abode. You know, it doesn't look like much. They're kind of unassuming at first. They're just fried balls, but man, do they smell good, and I'm very excited to eat them. There we go, just a little bit of the stuff. That kind of shows you how much outside there is, which is good. Honestly, I wanted a little bit of stuff on the inside, but a decent amount of potato on the outside. If there was too much stuffing, I would be complaining about ratios, and we don't want that to happen on this show again. It was very potato-y. It's too good to stop eating. I just said I wouldn't complain about ratios, but here we go. Too much potato. I've gone 2-3 bites in right now, and I've had the faintest taste of the filling, which tastes very good, but I'd like to get at least a little with each bite, you know? So look at that. Another bite with almost none of it in there. It's very potato-y. I wish I could tell you what the inside tastes like, but I still haven't gotten a very good taste of it. definitely a hard turn from the Indian food. A little less spicy going on. I would say that I can maybe taste some sort of like Mexican flair in the meat, but in all honesty, there was so little meat, I really didn't get a good taste of it. Let's do a cut right down the middle, see what we got here. So that's kind of like an accurate cross-section of the papas. I don't think I'm satisfied with that amount of stuffing. But it's kind of an overload of potato and not enough of the
rellenas.
Ooh, yeah. That's some well-seasoned ground beef. Look at that. That is all mashed potato. One little nibble and half of the stuffing gone. Let's just get rid of the other half. Okay, so just for reference, this is what it looks like when you've removed all of the delicious inside stuffing. And the potatoes are still good, don't get me wrong, but they're just not good enough by themselves.
Which is how I was eating most of those.
I don't know, man. Honestly, as I'm eating them, I really like the fried potatoes too.
And this is tough. I'm very conflicted with this one. Very difficult decision here.
Honestly, the more that I use this rating system, the less of a good system it seems. You know who has a great rating system? Brutalmoose. Oh, that's a great, there's many options. There's a lot of wiggle room for where you want to put things. That's a great system. Today we're using IGN's system, so I'm gonna give these a 7.5. Somewhere in between good and great. I'm gonna say if it had more stuffing, I'd give it a full 8. We're gonna go 7.5 and move on because I have a lot more food to eat and I'm getting hung up on numbering this one. Pretty good papas, pretty good papas. Okay, well, I just feel like a giant liar. There was one more tiny food offering before we get to the big stuff. This is the Trader Joe's breaded cheddar cheese curds. I love cheese curds. I don't know if I've had very many fried cheese curds, but they sound awesome. Not a lot of interesting things going on the cover here. They look like little tater tots. What's the story on this sauce here? Do I get some sauce? Does this come with some sauce? I'd love some sauce to dip my curds in. What's a curd without a little bit of sauce? We've taken classic cheese curds and given them the breaded and fried treatment. Yum. Yep, they look like little tater tots. Ooh, I'm gonna have to stop myself from eating too many. They do not come with a sauce, but I might have a sauce that I can provide. Beating my meat in it. Though I can't really tell if I've gone nose blind to the fried stuff because of the chicken triangles and the fried papas. They smell good, but a little faint, like not as strong as I expected. And they look probably as you expected. They look like little fried pieces of cheese. I did provide myself my own dip. Today I'm using Subway's garlic aioli. You can buy a bottle of it in the store. It will last a very long time because a little goes a long way. It is quite garlicky. Also, before I dig in, I forgot to check the price here. Cheese curds breaded che is $4.99, so we're looking at the same price as the papas, though you get a lot more. You only get 4 papas, as large as they are. It does feel like you get more bang for your buck in the cheese curds, assuming, of course, that they're actually good. So let's find that out. Now these are a tasty snack. I can't say they're very squeaky, as a cheese curd usually is, but I think that's because they're hot and a little gooey. You know, actually, I don't like it with the aioli. I love the aioli. On other things, I can't recommend it with the cheese curds. Tastes weird. The curds, though, these are delicious. People keep telling me I need to go to Culver's, I think it is. They have some fried cheese curds. I've never been before. There's not one super close to me. But if they're anything like this, I should check it out. I like these. There's a decent amount of breading, so it's not too thin. It does taste like a nice crispy fried cheese. Not much more to say about it other than that it's exactly what I expected in a good way. Oh my God. Don't let me eat the whole plate. I still have so much more food. It's cheese, it's fried, it's got a chicken burrito bowl. All right, big fan of these. Not too much to say about them. They are very simple. It's fried cheese, but it's a great version of fried cheese. Okay, I've decided I'm going to give these cheese curds the first 9 of the day. Amazing. I enthusiastically recommend you add these curds to your playlist. If I call a food amazing, that means something about it seriously impressed me. Whether it's an inspired new idea or an exceptional take on an old one, we expect to look back on it as one of the highlights of its time and genre. And I would agree. I think the Trader Joe's frozen fried cheese curds stand alone on the top of a mountain or some shit. I don't fucking know. They're good curds, and they rank among great titles like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Batman Arkham Knight. All right, I'm filling up, so come on, I gotta pound the food before I can't fit any more in me. This is the Trader Joe's Tarte aux Champignons, a French-style flatbread with mushrooms and a blend of cheeses. Looks pretty good, looks pretty good. Overall, I'd say it looks pretty good. You might be tempted to call it a pizza, and that would be okay. Well, gee, thanks, box. Thank you. I feel valid. But its flavors are so transcendent, its texture so smooth, we think it defies categorization. Serve it as an appetizer or pair it with a salad for an unforgettable dinner in just minutes. The result? Delicue. It's deliscos, it's delicue. Oh, yum yum. Well, it does look like it's gonna be a pretty thin offering with minimal sauce, which is how I like my flatbreads, it's how I like my pizza. It's gonna be good. If it's a pizza or a flatbread, what the fuck ever, it looks like it's gonna be good. I'm sorry, it looks like it's gonna be delicue. Deliciou? One of those has to be right, and I really hope it's delicue. All right, that looks pretty schmancy, honestly. A lot more going on than I expected. It looks very involved. You got the mushrooms there, you got the cheeses there. I guess this is the sauce, the white shit on the side here. Is that the sauce? Oh yeah, how much did this cost? All right, so the Tarte aux Champignons was $4.79, which is the same price as a lot of these offerings. But at the same time, I could get so many disgusting banquet Salisbury steaks for that price. So it's a tough call. Don't trust a Joe. Never trust a Joe. What was my computer doing back there? Was it being weird? It's supposed to be showing a green screen, but was it being strange? Okay, all right, I'm gonna go cook this thing and then I'll be back. Oh man, I'm feeling so full right now. It should be fine though. It should be fine. All right, well, it smells very mushroomy, that's for sure. Wish I'd made some more roomy for the mushroomy, but I did eat a lot of cheese curds just a little bit ago. And you know, I am glad that they gave me permission to call this a pizza because I do feel like calling it as such. Let me give it a little sniff. You know, what's most interesting is the crust. The crust is the crust. It looks almost like puff pastry, like the stuff the triangles was made of, but rolled in on itself. I don't really know. I don't know. Let me adjust. Oh my fucking. Let me adjust my expectations a little bit. It definitely does not taste as I expected, that's for sure. I don't really like that. I do like that it's very mushroomy. I love mushrooms, but I don't know. I don't really like the crust, and I don't really like the sauce, and there is a lot of sauce. It's way saucier than I was expecting. I don't know if I can really illustrate just how wet this is, but it's the thinnest crust you could possibly have. And everything on top of it is very liquidy and runny. And I'm not into that. It's okay. I mean, I can feel myself kind of coming around to it as I eat it. But at the same time, I don't want more. I really wish the crust was the crust. Less saucy, more cheesy. What is extravagant Emmental cheese sauce? What does Emmental mean? It's mental, I'll give it that much. It's not for me. The mushroom taste is pretty good. The cheese taste, I don't know if it's just I don't like the kind of cheese on here or what. Mostly though, my complaints lie in the crust And the sauce, too much sauce, not enough crust. I wish instead of like a runny, soupy sauce, it was more of a melted cheese experience, but it's just so wet. It's so wet and there's not it's just got a stinky taste and not in the good way. I'm gonna give it a 4 for bad. For one reason or another, this made me wish I'd never eaten it. Even if there's a good idea or two in here somewhere, they're buried under so much sauce that I don't really care. So the Trader Joe's Tarte au Champagnon will sit beside games like WWE 2K20, Medal of Honor, Warfighter, The Legend of Korra. I don't know any of these games. Where's Roller Coaster Tycoon on here? Where's Shenmue? All right, with that out of the way, I think there's only 2 things left, and both have rather interesting cooking situations. One of them must be prepared in a skillet, and the other needs about an hour to cook. So I think I'm gonna go for the skillet one first, and then we'll finish her off with the fancy steak pies. All right, it's time for the Trader Joe's shiitake mushroom chicken. I love mushroom chicken. It's one of my favorite things from Panda E, so I will be comparing the two as I consume. And based on the packaging, it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. I still think Trader Joe's has a pretty solid track record of delivering delicious frozen food, even though the last one was not really my cup of joe. Shiitake mushroom chicken. A savory dish of marinated chicken, shiitake mushrooms, edamame, and green beans in ginger soy sauce. Do I like ginger soy sauce? I'm not sure. I guess we're gonna find out. As far as price goes, this is one of the more expensive meals, coming in at $5.99, but I think it's gotta be for the portion size. It comes in a pretty big bag. This looks like it's meant to feed 2, maybe 3 people. Now there is only one way to prepare this, and I can't say that I'm super excited about it. I'm not saying that it's particularly difficult. When it comes to my frozen meals, the convenience and the ease of preparation is one of the things I'm factoring into the equation. So we gotta defrost the sauce packet in a bowl of warm water, and then we gotta microwave the chicken. What the fuck does this mean? Place chicken on a microwave-safe dish, cover with plastic. What kind of plastic? That's confusing. But you are supposed to heat the chicken and the vegetable pouch in the microwave to defrost it, and then you cook it all together in the stovetop stir fry. It's still supposed to take under 10 minutes to prepare, so it shouldn't be the end of the world, but it is a mild inconvenience, so for me, that is the end of the world. My world has ended now. But you know, I love you guys, or I mildly enjoy the concept of you at the very least, so I will prepare this for your viewing pleasure. Don't forget that I've done this for you, all right? Don't forget that I've used a pan, not because I wanted to, but for you guys at home. And that's just how much I like you. All right? All right. See you later. Here I go. All right, well, it's done. The cooking process was not as arduous as I expected. It all came together pretty easily. It did smell pretty good, and there was enough food to divide it into 2 bowls, so I am not responsible for the entire meal. It does feel like they went a little heavy with the edamame and green bean and a little light on the mushrooms, but the mushrooms that are in here do look very good. Let's give a chicken a little taste and hope that it is heated through. Pretty good. Let's try one of these mushrooms here. Mushrooms also pretty good. Much better than the mushroom pizza I just had, that's for sure. The beans are a little raw. The beans could have used a little more time on the stove, I think. The sauce is all right. I wasn't sure how I'd like the sauce, but it's not bad. Sorry, I got distracted with my phone for a second. It's just so boring that I got a little distracted there. It's not bad. It's not bad. Honestly, for a frozen stir fry, it's pretty good. The chicken is very tender. I really like the mushrooms. I can't say that I care much for the green beans. The edamame's all right. I'm feeling so full. Just so full of frozen shit. Oh my God. I'm gonna give the Trader Joe's shiitake mushroom chicken a 5 for mediocre. That's kind of, you know, bland, unremarkable, and I will mostly forget about it a day after I finish playing. I mean, a mediocre meal is not something you should spend your time or your money on if you consider either to be precious, but they'll pass the time if you have nothing better to eat. So the shiitake mushroom chicken would be sat alongside games like Crackdown 3 and Fallout 76. Well, that doesn't sound too good. It doesn't sound too good. All right, so unless I'm mistaken, this is our final meal of the day. Trader Joe's steak and stout pies. Now, personally, I love a steak. I'm not sure about a stout, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of pies, but I still have high expectations for this. I don't know that I've ever had a meat pie before, but when I think of them, I immediately think of a chicken burrito bowl. I was gonna say it looks appetizing, but I don't know. It kind of looks like a beef stew inside of a pie, and I don't know, I'm not crazy about beef stew. It's okay. Don't know that I want it in a pie. Where does the stout come in? Is stout not like a beer or something? What is stout? Oh, that's a big old pie. That is considerably larger than I was expecting. That fills up the whole palm there. I would describe this as a softball size pie. It's pretty big. And you know, it looks pretty nice, pretty cylindrical, as I would expect based on the cover. If I'm not mistaken, this is the most expensive thing I got at Trader Joe's, clocking in at $7.49. There's not a lot to it. Let's just heat it up. Dude, I am so stupid. I was like, I've never had a meat pie before. Pot pies count, right? Chicken pot pie, Marie Callender, that counts as a meat pie. Come on. Well, it smells a lot like a chicken pot pie out of the oven, which again, I should have mentioned in the intro because it is the only type of meat pie I've had before, and I quite enjoy them. But for some reason, I just didn't think about it. So that's the kind of quality commentary that keeps people crawling back to Brutal Foods. And what I found kind of interesting was that this is, it's got a lid. I tried to pick it up off of the baking sheet, but this little lid was coming loose. Oh, what's in there? That looks nice. Okay, let's put it back. I guess you could eat it as a soup if you wanted to. You could eat it as a bread bowl soup. Okay, it's probably still a little hot, but I'm gonna crack into it anyway. It smells very good. It smells mostly of pastry, but I smell some savory scents in there as well. Ooh yeah, I smell that stout gravy. Look at it leaking all over the place. Everybody loves a good leaky pie. Yeah, it's kind of like a stew. I almost wish I had a spoon. Well, pretty good. The pastry is very nice. They didn't skimp on the pastry. This thing is completely collapsing though. It's just kind of like a beef stew in an edible cup. Very good, very savory. Looks like we got some carrots, maybe some taters in there. MJ is activated. Hey, MJ. MJ wants to leave. You want to leave? But I'm eating the stout pie. Give me an IGN rating, MJ. How's the video turning out? All right, you can go. Okay, back to doing my job. Just eating fucking frozen food. What a life, dude. There's a flavor in there I don't enjoy. It's gotta be one of the herbs, or perhaps the gravy. Falling apart for one. Yeah, what is stout gravy? Is that what I don't love in it? Are there mushrooms in here? Oh, there's mushrooms in here. Hell yeah. I'm just gonna start destroying it. This is actually very tasty. I know I'm complaining about some slight flavor I don't like, but as a whole, very good and very filling. I will say though that it feels like I only got one piece of steak. Is this a steak? Some of the steak pieces are so small, it's easy to confuse them for a mushroom or some other, is that a celery? Honestly, it's pretty tasty. I might eat the whole thing. Definitely reminds me of a Marie Callender, but a beef stew variety. A nice rustic inside flavor. The outside pastry is not too sweet, but it's very good. But I feel like it's tasty, it's warm. I really like the outside crust. I just wish there were more pieces of beef and more mushrooms. You get a lot of the filler stuff. It also definitely does feel higher quality than a lot of the other stuff I tried today, just in presentation and what you got going on, nisms. What is it, $8 for 2 of these? $7.50? I don't think that's too bad. Okay, does it deserve a 10? Highest recommendation? I don't think so. I don't think that I'm being unreasonable when I say that there should be more steak in the steak stout pies. So maybe a 9? Didn't I give something else a 9? What else got a 9? It must have been the cheese curds. Am I really gonna rank this alongside the cheese curds? I don't think this rating system is working out, dude. I'm gonna give this a 9. So the steak stout pie will sit alongside things like Resident Evil 2 and Forza Horizon 4. So if you like beef stew or pot pies or both, I think you should give it a pot try. Give this pot pie a hot try. Can you see what all this food is doing to me, by the way? Look at this shit. And so concludes our Trader Joe's frozen feast. With this video, if I could pass on 3 bits of knowledge to you, I think it would be a huge success. Number 1, Trader Joe's is a great place to go for frozen food. Number 2, 10 frozen items is too much for a single food video. It's a lot of food, it's a lot to eat, and it's all frozen, so it's not gonna make you feel healthy. And number 3, this video is sponsored by
I was waiting for you. It is my dinner time. I need your food. Produce right from the farm. Sustainably sourced ingredients at your door. So many meal choices, 50 each week. They're customizable. Build your own feast. Skip the grocery store and save so much time. Reducing all my stress, I'm ready to dine.
Open the box and cook the food. Chef-crafted recipes, all for you.
Pick your meals. Food come to you. Choose the food, ingest food too. This is what HelloFresh help you do. HelloFresh days, HelloFresh nights, HelloFresh morning. More like HelloFresh. All right, HelloFresh. You have been on my mind. There's no commitments, so we'll take our time. HelloFresh, enjoy a box of delight. HelloFresh, oh HelloFresh.
Get up to 10 free meals and free shipping on your first box at HelloFresh.com with code brutalmoose10FM. Free meals apply to discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals and free shipping. Just go to HelloFresh.com with code brutalmoose10FM.